detail about these forms on the right side of your packet. And these, at closing, we sit down with you, and this is your packet that we give you, and you will fill out all of this paperwork, which actually goes pretty fast. So within an hour, you'll have completed all of this with us. I won't talk about those that Karen's going to go into, but all of these are very, very important that we hand off to different departments throughout Kendall. That makes everything run smoothly like a machine, and it's great. They're pretty self-explanatory. Your vehicle registration, if you have a vehicle that you're bringing, the SARA emergency system, which Karen will explain to you. Of course, marketing is always taking pictures, and this is for you to authorize us to take your pictures. Okay? You can become movie stars, rock stars, whatever, while you're here on campus. And we also take your photo when you move in for your medical records, right, Karen? Medical records, and for the biography book that everyone loves to read about. And your pet registration, cats, dogs, birds, fish, you name it. You register your pets with us, okay? Because we love all pets, and we love to greet them and see them and know them by name. This checklist here is just for you to help you remember to bring your Medicare card, your supplemental insurance cards, your prescription drug card, living will, advance directive, your power of attorney form. This is just a reminder. When you come to closing, bring all those with you. We'll copy them and give you back your originals, and then we keep these on file for you, okay? Your resident information form, which also gives all kinds of information and emergency contact information in case of all kinds of great things. And this one here, I know all the ladies are going to be happy about this one. It's titled Facility Services. This gives permission for those housekeepers to come in and clean your place every other week and twice a year, like Jessica said. This is a nice one too. This one is direct payment option. So if you don't want to have to write checks anymore, then our accounting department can just take the money directly out of your account. You don't have to worry about paying that monthly check. A lot of people already do that where you are now. So on the left side of your packet, you've got this really great informational sheet about moving to Kendall. It tells all kinds of things in the community, whether you need movers to move a piano or vet or anything you might need is right here, okay? This came out of our downsizing event, and Karen in Resident Services had already built this amazing information, but we've adopted it as well. And then you've got this yellow emergency information card that's been laminated, and the little orange stickers. A lot of people put this yellow card on their refrigerator and the orange stickers on their phones in case of emergency. This is what you do. So this is extremely important right here. And this little sheet is Kendall's wish list. And I know when it says furniture and things that you might be donating or wanting to get rid of that you aren't selling. Right now, our interiors committee is really needing pieces of art for the walls. They just talked with me last week. So if anyone has wall art or hangings or paintings or pictures of any kind, large pieces, or even small decorative side tables, those are the things that they're looking for to put in different places throughout the campus. Yes?
Question on that. We set something in already probably 6 weeks ago or so. If we haven't heard, it's because they're still looking at everything they've gotten and then they'll get back.
Okay, you did. You submitted some furnishing ideas? Artwork pieces? Okay, I'll follow up on that. Thank you. Then some helpful moving tips for you there. I know we're like giving you all kinds of tips. This explains your dining points in more detail, which is wonderful. Everyone wants to know about the food. You know, how do the points work? And this tells it all, and on the back it tells you the times for the dining room and the fine dining restaurant, okay? And if you have any questions also later about this, we'll talk, you can feel free to ask. Here we go about your cable on your phone and your internet. These are the providers that you can call and get your own if you're not going to get the regular packet that we have. Comcast, the sheet is in your packet. It tells the basic television channels. Okay, Caroline, you see that? Mm-hmm. All right. But like Jessica said, if you want an upgraded package, 1,000 sport channels, I don't know. I don't know what they have, but you can call them and get that, okay? Newspapers. Here's our bus schedule, and the bus runs Monday through Friday, and you can schedule yourself to ride the bus anywhere you need to go for free. Doctors, shopping, dentist, running errands. You don't have to have a car. You can go on the bus for free. Okay? Your biographical information. One of our residents, she is really good at tracking you down to get your biography written. And that's where that will go in the blue book, the biography book, okay? I think one more thing. This is, two more things. This talks all about recycling. And this will help you. I don't know anything. We have a lady called the Queen of Recycling, or the Queen of Trash. The Queen of Trash. And you will meet Robin Potter, and she's amazing, and she put this together. So, last thing, Cornerstone Bank now comes, and they have an office here on the campus. And you can sign up with Cornerstone Bank if you want to. But this is another wonderful opportunity that you can take advantage of right here and never have to leave the campus. All right? Karen? Yeah?
Question?
Oh, yes, question.
Cable, phone, and internet providers. There's a relatively newer provider in the area, Bark. So any conversations or consideration be given to adding Bark to the list?
Good question. I think that was fast.
We may be partnering with Bark for our internet service that hasn't been finalized yet. I'm not sure if they'd be offering one-on-one residential, per cottage service as well for upgraded packages. They don't at this time here on our campus.
So to probe that question, you've already probed the question. Should we then follow up with Bark if we were interested? I mean, how do we add a...
What I've been told is that Bark is not going to go to your cottage and put you on that you're not going to be able to just get your internet through Bark. That might change. That's what I've been told now.
Okay. Good question. Anybody else have a question so far? Okay. Before Karen talks, remember there's cookies back there, and coffee, and mints, and water. Okay?
Yes, I have a microphone. Thank you, Mary Beth. I'm just trying to get back through all these papers she threw all over the table here. That's okay, it's all right. To find the ones that really I can focus on. So she mentioned, and it was originally, did you say the right side of the folder? Is that what you were referencing? The right side. The right side of your folder has some forms that we will request you fill out at the time you come move in. And I just want to give you a little bit of information about why we request that information and why so quickly. Once you come, and this is a little bit of the risk manager talking, but once you've moved in and you've become a resident and signed a contract of Kindle, we, in a sense, take on responsibility for the residence that you're living in and, a little bit of liability with you here on the property now as a resident. And so we want to assure that we have the right information, not only for an emergency, but also so that we can follow your wishes and your guidelines. So this is really important that we get this information. Why would we want the vehicle registration, you say? Well, at times, I'm going to give you an example. Someone actually left their vehicle parked out front and they went home and they forgot that they parked it out front. So we come in the next morning and we have to hunt down who that vehicle belongs to. Now, that was an odd occurrence, but that's the reason we want that information, is just in an emergency to move a vehicle, in an emergency that a vehicle's been left downtown with a flat tire and we need to identify that vehicle because we've been sent to assist. Those are the kinds of reasons we want that vehicle information. What I would also say to you is you may downsize and get rid of a vehicle, but you've got 2 when you move in, or 3 or 4. Go ahead and give them all to us. They're going to be vehicles that you're driving, and then as you make changes, certainly we just want to get that update. If you've sold a vehicle or you've traded it in for something newer and brighter in a different color. The emergency system information, this is the sheet that refers to SARA. SARA is our emergency alert system here at Kendall. And I won't even tell you what it stands for because it'll just confuse you. But everyone upon arrival, and Kathy mentioned this briefly, that she would be reaching out to each of you. She'd put a note in your box and she'd say, hey, come see me. I want to go over a few things with you. That's one of the things she will be going over. You will be presented with a pendant, and we call them pets, capital P-E-T, not little P-E-T like furry fuzzy pets, but capital P-E-T pets. And you can either wear it on a necklace, or you can put it on your belt, stick it in your pocket, whatever you need to do to keep that with you. But as soon as you push that button, it is going to alert us that it is you, whether you are a do not resuscitate or a full code. It's also going to alert us to which tower you were closest to. Much like a cell phone, as you're traveling across the county, your cell phone is going to bing here, and then it's going to bing here, and then it's going to bing here. The pet does a similar thing. And so we'll get a message to say to us, oh, the pet has been pushed. It's Mary Beth, and she's near the rose garden. Okay? And so our staff can immediately go to that area to find out what's going on with Mary Beth, and maybe she has fallen, or maybe she's been stung by a bee and she's having a reaction. We're not really sure. Or maybe it was an oops. I didn't know I hit it. I was gardening and my elbow came back and all of a sudden I hit it. Those things happen too. But that pet is your emergency, what's the word I'm looking for? Piece of equipment to notify us if something is going wrong. And we encourage folks to keep it with them, especially if you're like walking on the trails or if you're out and about. Put it on your bedside table when you go to bed at night. If you're going on the bus, take it with you, whatever the case may be. Now, there is some limited range to that pet, okay? So it's only going to reach so far away from the campus. But for the most part, if you were within, I think it's 60 feet, does that sound about right, of the structures, meaning on Sycamore Road Lane, Sycamore Lane, on Sycamore Lane, just outside of those cottages by about 60 feet, it'll continue to work. So it will catch most of the trail on campus. If you're still a little unsure, take your cell phone, because you can always have that as a backup. So we really want this information as quickly as possible. We're gonna need your cell phone or your landline, whatever your primary phone number is, as well as we'll confirm your address, and then is there an emergency contact should we need to contact someone. I won't go into the photo and video release, but just to let you know that these are signed throughout the continuum of care here at Kendall. So when you move to Webster, you'd sign it again. If you move to Borden, you'd sign it again. They are specific to us using your photograph, which is also a part of your medical record. So just a couple more little forms here. They mentioned housekeeping. We generally, when you come to Kendall, will also add you, either Herbie or myself will add you to what's called Works Hub. Works Hub is how you're going to put in your maintenance request or your housekeeping requests, okay? And it's an online program. Now, if you say, oh, I don't do computers, that's fine. Karen Miller at the front desk will also assist you, and you can just go by and say, Karen, I need XYZ done, and she'll put in the work order for you. But each individual resident or person will have access to Works Hub, and you can literally pull up the computer, up on the computer and put in your requests. As a part of that, it will ask you, is it okay if we enter, or do you prefer if we give you a call in advance and set up a time? And that is perfectly up to your request. What I do want to mention to you is, because the property is owned by Kendall, if we know that there have been issues in the past, or if we know that we haven't been able to reach you by phone, you may see us show up at your door and knock to come in because we want to check on you. And that's true especially if you're not up and moving by 10 a.m., okay? Because it's going to alert our SARA system, remember that capital PET PET system, it's going to alert our system that nobody's moving in apartment 101, okay? And so our staff will then want to proceed to try and check and make sure everything's okay. This is why it's also important that you notify us if you're going to be away from Kendall for a few days. Let's say you're going to take a trip to Europe and you're going to be gone 3 weeks. Please let us know that you're going to be out so we can turn off that SARA alert and not be chasing shadows, if you will, okay? All right, the last little piece I want to talk about is pets, and there is a lot of other information that we want to get from you the day that you arrive. Kathy alluded to that file of life. That is so important that we understand a little bit about your background and your history. You know, if you have a pacemaker, if you have an allergic reaction and have an EpiPen that needs to be with you if you're going on trips. Just some of the kinds of things that we can help support you to live your best life while you're here at Kendall. And so we're going to ask some of those medical questions. We're going to ask about who your physician is in case we need to reach out to them on your behalf. We're going to ask you for an emergency contact and some of that other information which goes into your medical record. Be rest assured that most people here on the campus are not going to access that information. The independent living resident information is generally only accessed by Kathy or myself, and that is if we are supporting you for some reason. Now, if we need more help, we of course will bring in other staff as appropriate. But for the most part, your medical record is just collecting and collecting and collecting, so that at some point down the road, if you reach a point where you need more assistance, we've built up a background of information about you. And so that's why Kathy and I say, hey, just stop by the office and let us know what's going on with you. If you're having a little procedure, or if you've changed your medications, or you've gotten a new diagnosis, we just want to add that into your history so that we can kind of help keep an ongoing history. I mentioned the pets, the little pets, the fuzzy furry type. Kendall loves our pets, absolutely loves our pets, and I'm sure maybe you've seen some videos of some of our pets and maybe even met some during your visits here. But one of the things we take seriously as we take our care of you while you live here at Kendall and supporting you to live your best life, we also want to support our pets and make sure they've had their shots and make sure they have a veterinary visit if required. We want to make sure there's a plan if something happens to you, and I know that you have a dog and you're resident, that I'm going to know what to do to get somebody in there to take care of your pet or call the person who's supposed to come get the pet. And so much like we request that information for you as a person, we're requesting that information about your pet. And it's generally just so we can help you in terms of having a backup plan to provide for their care. We also know that as people age, they tend to have more trouble taking care of their pets. I can't walk with my dogs the way I used to, not quite as quick as we all age. So we want to just make sure that we're checking in to make sure if there's something that you need, that we can support you in that way, not just for your fuzzy furry pets, but then of course as your needs change. So just a little bit about why some of these forms we require. Are there any questions for me? Clear as mud?
Thank you. Can you explain a little bit about what Herbie and the other staff provide, when we call them, when we don't?
Sure. You want me to do that? Yeah. So Herbie is our director of operations. He has a supervisor of maintenance, which is, his name is KC. K is in Karen, C is in Clark, but it's Kevin. Kay Karen, right? Yeah, so Casey, and then his crew. Really, they're going to do everything within their power to support the residents in terms of if your heater's not working, your air conditioning's not working, you know, you've got a drip in the faucet, you need filters changed, the general maintenance and upkeep of your residents, okay? And so, as you know, we're about to add 30 more cottages up here, and so they've got quite a number of places to take care of. And that's why we use that Works Hub system, so that we can manage requests based upon whether it's a safety issue or whether it's a higher priority. Obviously, water dripping from the ceiling messing up your apartment is going to take a higher priority than painting a hallway, you know, in the south building. And so they manage those requests based upon emergency needs. If they cannot manage that request, then what they're going to do is outsource it to someone who can. And so we may call Trumbo, or we may call, I'm trying to think.
HVAC.
Yeah, the HVAC company. There are other companies that we contract with. So if they're not able to manage it in-house, then they're going to call in professionals to do that. Did that answer your
I'm
question?
going to add a little bit. In addition to that, you're entitled to a couple hours of their sort of non-maintenance help when you move in. So when you move in, you need pictures hung. You didn't like where the movers put all your furniture, and you want it rearranged. They can help you, and we usually say a couple hours of that. They're not going to clock in and clock out. Typically, if you want more of that type of help that is not maintenance and repair, they do have a system where they do have a $25 an hour fee to help you with those types of requests. If you think you're going to need a lot of picture hanging requests once you're here, also let marketing know that, because then we can give them a heads up that you're going to need some more assistance. Also, many of you have upgraded your appliances and some of your fixtures. If those were to break, we try to repair them in a way that would be the same cost as if we were repairing a standard. However, if the costs go above that, or you need replacement of your upgraded refrigerator, we always replace and repair at the standard level. So there may be more fees. If your refrigerator breaks down, we can't repair it, you need a new refrigerator, well, we'll give you a credit for a standard again, and you would still have to make up that difference. But again, like Karen said, the Works Hub, you have a plumbing issue, put it in there. You know what? You probably also want to call the front desk so that we can get maintenance there immediately. Fire, damage, all that type of stuff. If it's, oh, my hallway is really, really scuffed up, I think I need my trim painted, put that in Works Hub, and they'll come and assess it at some point.
On the routine maintenance things, they also come around to routine maintenance that, like changing filters.
Clearing vents, dryer vents.
And they'll just call or.
Yeah, they'll look at the roof, clean gutters, wash. Maintenance actually is responsible for washing windows on the exterior, so things like that. Bruce?
So I hope this is a non-trivial related follow-up question, but does that mean we can get rid of our vast collection of light bulbs?
Yes, good point, Bruce. We change light bulbs, and they're LED mostly, so hopefully you don't have to change them as much.
And do people usually downsize their workbenches then? They don't need all those screwdrivers?
Exactly. And I know the horticulture committee too is putting together